There we go. Thank you very much indeed. Welcome, John and Craig. Thanks ever so much for joining us. This is a bit new because normally we do football games, but this is, as you've just got the final to go, I thought I'd come back to our roots where we started at Shepton and have a chat to you guys. So thanks ever so much for joining us. We followed Shepton Mallet for 4 games along our journey, which is the most times you followed one club. I mean, we saw Man City 3 times, we saw Liverpool twice, we saw Southampton once, Peterborough 3 times, but we had you guys 4 times. So you guys held the records for the amount of videos we had on our collection. But great of you to join us. Can we start first of all, Shepton Mallet? You had your community day against Exmouth Town, didn't you? Great day, I would imagine, with the game, because Exmouth were right at the top as well. But just how good was that, and what did that involve, and what happened on the community day, and how many people were there, and how did it go?
I think it's something the club look to do once a year, really, and I think they decided this year that they do it on that date. Obviously, not knowing at the time that obviously Exmouth would be going for promotion, and obviously the way the title race panned out, it was going to go down to that final game, which all sort of added to the occasion, really. But yeah, it turned out to be a great day. We had the weather here. We had our brilliant youth section involved, so the kids were up here from early playing on the pitch against each other, and sort of I think it ended up about 632 people through the gate. Yeah, so it was really good. Exmouth brought up a few supporters as well, given obviously the nature of the game, but it turned out to be a really good occasion. And then we stayed on in the bar after. I think it was the Tyson Fury fight, and we watched it. And it was just a great day, really. And it was
all day then, all day, literally then.
Yeah, it was all day. Yeah, we got in early because we mingled with all the with all the kids and everything, and lots of stuff going on, food and things. It was a really good day.
Yeah, you're a community club, of course. So how important is stuff like that at the end of the season? Is it just as important as anything else, getting everyone into the club?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it is, especially now we've got I'd say a recently formed youth, probably 5 years or so. I think it's really come on, but it's brilliant now. You only walk through the town and you see everyone wearing the red and black Shepton tops, and it's brilliant. We've got that from under 8s now right the way up to our under 18s, and there's they can see a pathway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And those kids that can come out here on a Saturday and watch it can bring their parents come along, and it's just sort of got a real good family feel. So
yeah, it's 600. Is that your biggest attendance for the season?
I think, I'm not sure. We had Taunton at home in the FA Cup, didn't we?
Yeah, we were there for that one.
I'm not sure what that one was. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it was. I think Taunton, I don't think we quite tipped the 600 mark. So yeah, I would probably say it was our biggest.
Yeah. Fantastic. Season. Bro, listen, your season's over now. It's gone. For you guys, is it a relief for you that it's over? Because I guess you've both got your normal day-to-day jobs as well. So football is just something on top of that. So does it give you a month's just rest? Is that how you see it?
Firstly, it was nice to finish the season. Obviously, after the 2 COVID impacted years, it was nice to actually start pre-season and finish it kind of end of April. But no, I always say, as a management, our work starts now, because obviously, whilst the players get time off, for us, we've got to start planning for next year. We've got to start speaking to the club about ambitions and where do we want to go, and where does the club want to go, etc. And obviously then start to build your squad for next year to meet those ambitions. So so we're already speaking to the squad, starting to ring round and get meetings down at the club, and then we'll start to pinpoint players, new targets. Obviously, we will identify players we want to bring in to strengthen or replace, or whatever may happen. But but no, it's nice, like I said, to have completed the season. It's nice to have had all the to see it from cradle to grave. But no, for me personally, it's the hard work starts now, planning for next year.
So it's the same as whether you're a pro manager or whether you manage a part-time club. The season never stops, I guess. So what has the club said to you about the ambitions for next year then? You talk about the ambitions. What's the club said to you about that?
So, personally, I've been at the club for 3 years. Lox has been here a couple of years before me, and I think it's safe to say that during that time, we've cemented ourselves as a top 6 club in the Western League. The plan ultimately is to compete, rise to the very top, to try and challenge for the league. We've identified kind of how and why we weren't there this year, and we're talking very small margins. So, the club want to push on. Us as a management team, we want to push on as well, and we want to get there. So we're all kind of pulling in the same direction, which is important. And hopefully, if we can retain everybody, add a little bit where we need to add, and we can close the gap on that kind of top 4 and mount a serious challenge, which we weren't too far away this year.
I mean, you say you weren't too far away, and you were 6th, but there's no playoffs for you guys this year, is there? It's literally, is it the top side that goes up? So does that make it more difficult, knowing that literally with 5 games to go, your season might be over?
Yeah, it's something we've always spoken about. We think that it should be implemented really at all the levels, because like you just said, it gives you something to push for if you're not quite in those top 2 positions. But ultimately this season it's been tighter than what it ever has. But if they did look to doing it, it's something we'd all push for, because like you said, it gives you something to really go for, and also to be promoted, and it gives you that opportunity rather than tell the season off, like you said, with 5 weeks to go. Even before that, some people might look at Christmas, we're miles away from So to have that, to continue that competitive football which you get, at the start of the season right the way to the end, like you see on the TV now with the playoff games and the playoff finals, I think that would be brilliant. I think to have in our league. They do it in the league below, so I'm not quite sure.
Well, they do. I mean, Andover, you played Andover, didn't you? And Andover, I think, finished 2nd in their league, and they're in playoffs, so they got a chance of going up. But it would be great. I think it would just extend the season for you guys as well, and create the excitement as well. But in terms of, John, you said you've been here 4 years. Craig, I think, was it a year less for you, Craig? 3 years for you? How do you work together as a management team? So who does what? You talk about getting players in. Is it one of you talks to players, one of you does a coach, and one of you does tactics? How does it work together?
This will be. I've been here for 3. Craig's been here for 5 or 6.
Oh, right. Sorry, Craig.
Yeah, I'm the newbie, but
okay.
No, we work very well together actually, and I think the conversation we were having offline, kind of with Lox's background in football, being a pro and having a very good non-league career as well. Standards Lox sets compared to kind of where my career began at playing kind of lower level football, when ever peaking as a footballer at Western League, I suppose, for a few games. We've kind of got to the same point from different journeys, but no, we work well together, I think, because we've both got the same drive and ambitions, and ultimately the language of football, if you like, it doesn't matter where your background is or upbringing. At the end of the day, we're aligned as a team. We both kind of have a vision that we share. We talk about and say, well, I think this, and more often not the other agrees.
Who wins though? If there's a disagreement on team selection, who wins?
To be honest with you, it's weirdly enough. Some people always say, they go like, well, it's good if you have those disagreements. But to be honest, I think we're along the same path a lot of the time. I think with our decisions, I think sometimes John would say, "Oh, I might do this," and then he'll put his point across, and then we'll discuss it, and then when you come to the end of that, it's like we are on the same lines, whether it's what team we play or what shape it might be or something like that. But like you said, with regards to roles, we probably do everything really. We both do the same role as such. I think though, if you're going to go into small detail, little things, say John would take care of set pieces before a game. He'll go through them and name them and sort of lay them out. Like, for example, just on the little things, like I'll print out a team sheet before the game, So we come in and the team sheets all printed out, players in their position, things like that. But with regards to tactics, we'll both run through things on the whiteboard. So it is very much evenly shared, no sort of set roles. You do this, you do that, but we like to have a routine now of what we feel works for us on a match day, more important.
And Craig, is it easier for you playing on the pitch? Because you play, of course, Jonny, you're on the sidelines, you're playing. With Andy being a captain, is there ever a time where you want to take control, or is it a case of, look, Andy's captain on the pitch, so this is what we do, or do you want to take more control sometimes on a pitch?
Not really. I think the nature of myself and how I am as a player, that's kind of in me anyway, to sort of organise whatever it is, kind of lead by example, especially with the young group we've got now, I think. But ultimately, my games have got less and less. I've not played that many this season, so you kind of have to accept and let them get on and do it. But when you are out there, you try to help, but it's completely different, because if you're playing and things aren't going well, ultimately I'm part of that problem. So I can come back in at half time and I'm essentially, I might have made the mistake. So I'll be telling someone, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. But then effectively I'm not doing it as well. That's why.
Talk about your stats, by the way. You say you haven't played a lot. You've played 22 games. You've had 2 yellow cards. And you've had no goals. No goals. But over that, John, what does Craig bring to the team every Saturday? What does he bring to the team for you?
Professionalism, commitment. Is just somebody you can rely on. I think, like I said earlier, with the Loxton's upbringing in football, you're not going to find a better player at this level with the experience. He's not quite Peter Pan anymore, or as we get a bit older, but he's experienced, and ultimately, when you are going through a bit of a rough patch, to know that you've got somebody like Loxton to either bring on or who's on the pitch to help solve problems, it's massive. And I think you only got to look at some of the games we've played where arguably we need that more experience. We've obviously opted to put Craig in, but with that said, we need to manage other players, and because they won't get the experience that Loxton have got if they're just sat behind. So it's trying to find that fine line between using that experience on the pitch. But to be fair, like I said, 3 years at the club, and to be fair, from the day I walked into where we are now, that profession hasn't changed. That will to win hasn't
I've
changed.
seen the will to win. I've seen that will to win on a pitch. I just want to share something with you, okay, Craig? I've seen that will to win. So let's see, right? If I can get, I'm hoping I might be able to get. So I can't find it at the moment. Where is it?
So you got a video of me doing something, or what?
I have. No, it wasn't any. No. It was actually you were playing. I can't find it. Do you know what? That's really disappointing that I can't get it. I can't share this screen. Taunton, do you remember Taunton Town? Second half, you had a bit of a chat with a Taunton midfielder at.
I remember.
I think you chased him around a pitch. I don't know. Was he asking you your opinion on a decision, or what was happening between the two at that time?
No, I think, to be honest with you, I remember that vividly. I think he was friendly with a player that we had here at the time.
Yeah.
Who, ultimately, that was his player's last game, and I think I won the ball off him, and I think he left one late in on me. So I sort of, my natural reaction was sort of like, "What are you doing?" And then he then alluded to his friend who we'd left out that day, who was on our bench, really.
Yeah, so, fair enough.
Basically, and that was it, really. But it's funny how football works.
John, was it more? Do you think it was more than just what you think you're doing? Do you think it was maybe more than that?
No, you know what? I remember it as well, and the conversation we had after was never guess what so and so said to me about, and obviously we're not going to sit and name names, but yeah. I've seen lots get kicked and retaliate and end up getting himself on a book in his first 10 minutes, and I'm saying, calm down. Look, you're meant to set an example there, but ultimately that's the sort of players you want on your side. The players
of course you do.
Do you
find it? Is it a case of would you class yourself as an enforcer type of player, Craig? Are you that enforcer player that?
No. Do you know what?
Protect your players. Is that what you do?
Oh yeah, I think, to be honest, I think now my age and things, I think, I know the game, I've learned the game. I wouldn't say I'm an enforcer. I think I've got those attributes to my game. I still class myself now very much as a technical player as well. But I think I have those moments where, whether it's, I won't shy away from a tackle, or if there's an altercation or a confrontation, I'm probably head of the group too much, really. And I do look back. I've said to John at times, I was like, what was I doing there? Like, I'm the oldest player on the pitch, and I'm right in the middle of it. Do you know what I mean? I'm thinking, what am I doing? Or
but that's what you want, isn't it? That is what you want. But 2 yellow cards for an enforcer ain't bad, is it?
Well, John, and I'll tell you what those 2 yellow cards were. It'll be one against Bitton and one against Bridport.
Yeah.
And the Bridport one just typifies what Loxton's just got to say. So we're 6-0 up, and God bless Bridport. Obviously, they've had a torrid season for various reasons, but we're 6-0 up at the time. Game's coming towards the end, and they've got their left back was pretty good, to be fair, and he's gone past a couple of our lads and put it through one of our lads' legs. So Craig's can come across, and he's just nicked it away. And to be fair, he needs to step back and just let the kid carry on. But instead, he's gone rattling into this tackle. Lad's gone up and over, yellow card. But the funny thing is, what people don't realise is then after the game, Lox has come limping into the dressing room, and he's got a hole in his shin like that, and he ended up missing the next 2 weeks because he ended up battering his shin. So, but that's the sort of players that you need. Players who are
of course it is.
And it doesn't matter whether you're 6-0 up or 6-0 down. As we found ourselves,
there's still a commitment there, isn't there?
You've got to, and I think that's the difference. And you go back to the question around what does Craig bring to the team? I think you watched us against Taunton when we were 6-0 down, and he's having an argument with their centre midfielder. The story I've just told you there was we're 6-0 up, and he's rattling into a tackle with that they probably didn't need to. So it's that consistency, and I think what the aim is then to bring some of our younger lads up to those levels and have that will and desire to win a game of football at all costs. And they're getting there.
But I'll tell you what, you got good discipline this year. I was having a look at you got the 2 red cards this year. I know Andy got sent off last game, didn't he, against Exmouth? But just the 2 red cards. But Callum had his 9 yellows, and for someone who has 9 yellows, you expect to have a red card in there. So we don't. You see, it's almost like he knows. He takes one for the team. He'll do a tackle. He knows he's going to get a yellow, but he seems to be able to keep his head on it, and he doesn't get sent off. Is that just a sign of a good, solid, hard, professional player who he knows he's going to stay on the pitch? He knows he'll get a yellow, but he's not going to get himself a red.
I think a lot of that comes down to they just don't want to pay the fine if they get a red card.
Oh, is it? Oh, right. Okay.
If they get a straight red card, it's 50 quid you're looking at. So
50 quid, blimey.
It'd be 50 quid. So they'll probably be thinking, I don't really fancy that. But no, I think especially with Callum, I think we've said to him a few times, because obviously he plays in my position as well, and I think we've probably not helped him with his yellow cards because especially me, I'm always shouting, if you've got to take one, you take one. Be smart with it. And he's probably learned that to his game. So I'd imagine he's probably going to be one of those players that's going to get 10 for the season. But if he plays the way that he's played this season, then there's no problem with that at all. But, red cards are going to come. And it's unfortunate. But it's part of the game. You want to be without them, but they happen, don't they? You just got to
of course they do. Of course they do. Let's talk about last year. You finished 6th. You started off like house on fire, scoring goals for fun, keeping clean sheets. Looking through, it was a bit of feast or famine because you went on great runs, then you went on poor runs, then you went on a great run again. How would you assess last season? How would you summarise it?
I think we just have. We started off really well. I think for us, we're Luke said earlier, we kind of don't want to rebuild. And therefore, we've had we brought in lots of young players. And let's not forget that COVID impacted progression for a lot of footballers and young lads anyway. So we brought in lot of young lads who probably should have had more experience under their belts than they initially did. We started the season really well, but ultimately you always put yourself there and you become that team to beat. And we did suffer a couple of losses, albeit every defeat we suffered was narrow, with the exception of obviously the FA Cup game against Taunton.
Yeah.
And I think that just tells we're always in games, but when your experience was needed to perhaps turn a defeat into a draw or turn a draw into a win, we arguably just didn't have everything we needed at that point. But that's taken nothing away from the lads, because a season isn't just in a small block of 5 or 8 fixtures. It's across the whole season. I think every single one of our lads can categorically say that the player they were at the beginning of pre-season last year to where they are at the end of the Exmouth game, they've all improved. But they're only ever going to improve by suffering a couple of defeats along the way and a couple of lessons learned where perhaps they should have done this or shouldn't have done that. And it's all part of that learning process. So we're happy with our season in the main. We know that the margins of which where we fell down on, as I say, we apart from Tavistock, who beat us by 2 clear goals in both home and away games, they went on and won the league. There wasn't another team who beat us by more than 1 goal. Again, aside from Tavistock, there wasn't a side that
well, they inflicted their first defeat, didn't they, Tavistock? 5-3. And was it a game as it sounds? Because they went off and they won the league in the end, didn't they? But 5-3, and that was your first defeat. Sounds like that was very close.
Yeah, it was, to be fair. I think looking back at it now, we went down there, not as there's any excuse, but we did have a few unavailables and things which didn't help. But I think at that point, I think that was probably the start of the sort of poor run we went on. I think we probably weren't great in form. And I think, if you're going down to Tavistock, who we knew at the time were going to be there or thereabouts, and we weren't quite at it. But I think that performance did kind of sum up that it was, obviously we conceded 5 goals, but we were very much in the game until the latter stages when we sort of went for it and sort of the thing got punished by Tavistock. But they thoroughly deserved to win the league. But I think
were they champions?
Oh, I think so. I think John alluded a minute ago to the 2 COVID seasons. If they were full seasons, they would be in the Southern League by now. I think them and Plymouth Parkway would have gone. They would have definitely been up there. And I think they had all round the best squad. They had a bit of everything, a bit of experience, a bit of youth, and obviously good players as well. So, but
you seem to do really well though against the top sides, because you beat Saltash, you beat Exmouth, you beat Mousehole, and beat Bridgewater. They're teams above you in the league, and then you drew, I think, with Ashton, didn't you? You drew a couple of games at Keynsham as well. So you seem to do better against the top sides, didn't you?
Yeah, I think that just goes to show that on our day we can compete with anybody, and it goes back to the point where that consistency is needed, and we need to drum into our lads that whether you are playing bottom of the league or top of the league, the performance levels need to be the same, and ultimately the teams who are the most consistent often come out right near the top, and that's arguably why we were 6th and not maybe in the or even competing for the league, because we did suffer with a little bit of consistency, and as I say, we know the reasons why. And that's taken nothing away from any of our lads, but that's what we're looking to build on this year. They've all got a full season under their belts now. They know what's expected of them from us. We know what we're going to get out of them and where we can improve. And I think 6th overall was good. We look at some of the points we dropped needlessly. Gives us that hope that we can kind of compete with the top 4. If not, like I said, go maybe make a challenge next year. But and
it's got to be top spot, hasn't it? It's got to be top spot to get promotion. But I guess you built a base this year where you can beat the better sides. It's just the consistency that goes with it, I guess, as well. So
to be fair, we set an aim out not to ensure that no team does the double on us. So,
Yeah.
and again, apart from Tavistock, who to be fair beat us home and away, there wasn't a side in this league that beat us home and or away. So we managed to take points off of everybody this season, which again shows us that we're competitive. We were unbeaten at home in the whole of 2022. So we set those kind of those markers down. And going back to an earlier point you made, Jonny, around how do you stay competitive when there's no playoffs or when there's arguably nothing to play for?
Yeah.
We were playing for those bits of pride to ensure that when we went down to Saltash or Exmouth came up here last game of the season, we wanted to make sure that we didn't let them beat us, or we didn't let them do the double. We wanted to make sure we broke the top six, set club records. So we installed that into those lads, and to be fair, they all bought into it. And as I say, that makes for a very good start to next year, because you just build on those habits we and the foundations we've laid this year.
Yeah, and of course this year as well, we're going to go on to the FA Cup now, but this year you beat Melksham away, the league above you. I remember speaking to a couple of your guys, and they just said, "Oh, Melksham, great setup there. That's going to be a tough game." And you went there and you defended resolutely in the second half. But first part of the second half, you outplayed them, and they're the league above you. Was that one of your best performances, would you say, in the season?
I suppose when it's probably one of our best results, if you like, because whenever you play a team from the league above you, give good account of yourself, and if you go on and beat them, people look at that. I mean, our performance was good, but we kept 20 clean sheets this season, so we've defended resolutely in more than just the Melksham game. We've scored. I think we went through a period of scoring at least 3 goals in every game for about 4 or 5 games on the spin. So. Yeah, we were very good against Melksham. I think we've turned in as good of a performance later on down the line. But obviously Melksham stands out owing to the fact that it's FA Cup and it's against a team in the league above.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it was. I mean, we thoroughly enjoyed that game. We did a podcast for Taunton, and we actually quoted that Melksham game as our favourite game just because of the atmosphere. Your fans came down as well, and it was just a great day, I guess, for you guys. But talking back on the FA Cup then, listen, we came down to you. Me and my boy, we came down to you on the first game against Andover, and we spoke to your media. I can't remember who your media guy's name is. I've been talking to him, and I can't remember what his name is. I can't remember. But my son said, "Oh, do you think we can get an interview with the managers?" He went, "Yeah, that's fine." So I don't know what you expected of us, but possibly, Sky dishes and TV cameras or whatever. We turn up with our mobile phone, not having a clue what we're doing. Never interviewed anyone before. But that Andover game, that 0-0 to start off, you almost lost that one in the second half as well. Didn't you? Great save from Tom in the second half. It kept you in it, wasn't it? And they're one of the lowest ranked sides. But you certainly put it to bed in the replay, didn't you? 4-0 in the replay down their place.
Yeah, we didn't really know too much about the Wessex League teams, to be honest with you. So we were a bit sort of unknown. We knew they were obviously the equivalent of the league below us, to be exact, but because we didn't really know too much. But that's sort of cut football for you, really. I think we weren't great that day. I don't think we were great at all. We don't think we've done enough. We had a couple of chances, but like you said, they had the best probably chance at the end when he went one-on-one with the keeper when we were pushing on, and Tom does what he does really and pulled off a fantastic save to sort of keep us in it, because that would have been a blow, to be honest with you, if we had gone out on that day, because there is sort of, with the FA Cup brings financial rewards to the club, and obviously there would have been no Melksham, there would have been no Taunton if we wouldn't have done that. But like you said, we sort of we survived that game as such, and then obviously comfortably won the replay on the Tuesday night 4-0. So
we would prepare for replays when we're doing this. I'm thinking, what are we talking about? A week Tuesday, right? I'll organise some time off. It was a week Tuesday. It's literally the next Tuesday. So I mean, to get players, part-time players who've got other jobs to go down on a Tuesday night down to Andover, I guess, is that a struggle for teams like yourselves? A game that's been shoehorned in, has suddenly got to get players to get time off work?
It can be, it can be. I mean, and that's the joys of non-league or semi-professional football, isn't it? But no, to be fair, looking at that game in isolation, it was a 0-0 at our place, and Andover celebrated it like a win. And we went into the dressing room after and said, look, lads, we now need your poor performance is owed to the fact we now need to go down there Tuesday and make amends. And to be fair, we've got an honest bunch of lads who all bought into that and said, you know what, we owe. It may only be their second, third game for the club, but we owe the club one, and they all made the effort to come down. And the team talk was relatively straightforward. It was put right what you've done wrong on Saturday. To be fair, we gave a good account of ourselves, and it helped scoring 2 goals very early. And then from there on in, it was just being professional, managing the game correctly, and and
it was a cracking third goal, mind you. Talking the first, the third goal was an absolute stunner goal, which we actually missed, unfortunately. But he scored some good goals along the way. And your fourth one, I think, was a halfway line shot, wasn't it?
It was,
right at the end. But you then went on to beat Melksham, as we talked about. You then had Taunton. I remember speaking to you beforehand and asking you the question. Taunton, probably the worst side you could have drawn. And I mean, they've just gone up now, haven't they, as champions to National League South. But looking back, would you have rather someone else in that round?
I don't know. It's one of them. It's like you kind of think how far you can go. And you look at other people's rules and you think, do you know what? We probably could have beat them. But like you said, I think we probably had the toughest team that we could probably face at that time. Don't get me wrong, it was nice to be at home and not down there to obviously give the club that occasion and get a lot of people through the gate. It was a good day. The weather and that was there. It was nice, but obviously, we didn't feel like that after we obviously lost 7-1 or 7-0, whatever it was. We didn't feel like that, but I suppose it would be nice to sort of see how far can you go. Can you go that one step further and get to the sort of the National League teams? Just to see where that goes. But you're talking a big jump then in teams and in quality of players. So
of course it is. Seb's got in touch with me after the game and said, "Did you catch my goal?" I went, yeah. So can you say what?
We sat with Sebs earlier today, and and he was still talking about that goal this afternoon. If I'm being honest with you, and that's no lie.
We had 2 different angles of it. He made us send in both. He went on one side. My son had one from. He said, "Oh yeah, send me both." He said, "Good goal, wasn't it?" I went, yeah, great goal.
I mean, that Thompson game. I mean, it was a humbling, obviously, but talking to their manager after, I mean, it was a view as to how much respect they paid us. I think the result, and without wanting to get all cliched, it wasn't a loss, but it was a lesson. And to be fair, the gaffer said to me after, he said, "We had you watched a couple of times. We knew how you lined up. We knew where your strengths and weaknesses were." And for me, that just shows that they respected us properly. And dare I say, had they have not, it may have been a closer game. But they came up knowing that we weren't a bad outfit and that they had to be on their best. And to be fair, they were. And they gave us a footballing lesson. But when you hear after that they owed and paid us a respect that maybe some clubs don't pay teams of our level. That's why that shows
the respect. Yeah, that shows, I think, how well Shepton, they knew you were performing at that point in the season. You won 3 of your first 4. You're not letting in goals. You're scoring goals for fun, and anybody's, I think, gonna have a look at that and think, look, we got to try and nullify you. But listen, I know we're moving on time, so last point. Can we just spill the beans on some of your players now? Okay, because I've watched some of your Twitter videos, okay, when you've gone to away games, and you've obviously got a lot of singers in the team. Town Call comes up rather a lot, okay, but when you got singing going on, there's got to be someone who starts it. So who in your club, which of your players is the singer that starts you all off?
Do you know what? I wouldn't know, really. I think a lot of teams now have songs, don't they? We've probably got 4 or 5 players that have actually got their own song, as in that we've changed the words a little bit, and the chorus is on their names. But to be fair,
which can't be repeated on here, I guess.
There's a couple we can.
There's a couple,
right? Okay.
But yeah, like I said, a few of them come out their shell towards the end of the season, and we had a good sing song in there. I think Jacob Sloggett did his little number. I think Danny Constable went up. Matt Wood, the centre half. Nick Hewlett, I think they all went up and had a little. I think they were slow songs. I think.
Okay, then. Right. Okay. Who's the best singer in the team? Who's the best singer in your team?
I mean, we can only go off of the kind of the initiations. There's George Morris Edwards was good. He was very good.
What did he say?
He sang James Blunt.
James Blunt.
And then, to be fair, Lox was mentioning there, Woody, Matt Wood. He joined us halfway through, really as a replacement for George, because he's out with a bit of an injury, or had been. So Woody came up and sang I think a Neo number or something, a little bit quite smooth.
Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber. And he done pretty well. So,
okay, pretty smooth then.
I'm going to get one of our, which isn't great, is it? When you've got your two centre halves or your pretty boys, and they're the ones singing the songs. But
no, you're dead right with that. You're dead right. Listen, let's move on to others then. Who's your best dressed player?
What's
that?
No.
You're looking at either me or Lox, to be fair.
Really?
I'd agree with that.
Okay. Who is the vainest person in your team?
I'm going to say Phil Wilkinson's up there. He's
okay.
He seems to have a permanent tan all year round.
Okay, fair enough.
Joel's got good dress sense.
Yeah,
I think Joel dresses quite well.
Okay. Who's your brainiest in the side? Who's the one with the brains?
Christ. I think Nick Hewlett, maybe. He comes across a little bit intelligent, whether he just says a few words and everyone buys into it, I'm not sure, but I think maybe Nick, I'm not sure we've got the most intelligent bunch, but
right, hang on, I'm coming on to that question in a minute. Next one, who's the joker in the side?
We've got a couple. We've signed Danny Constable. He's always in the thick of things.
Okay.
You got Danny. You got Callum. Lokes have a bit of a laugh. Sometimes that's only, but yeah.
Two more then. The next one. Who is always the last person to get the joke?
Probably Danny as well.
Oh right. Okay. Fair enough. Good. And lastly, which of your players can you see as being a future manager?
I'm not sure really. I think Sebs is the only one that I think has declared an interest in it. I think he does a lot with the youth now, and he's ready to make that step. So he's got those traits well. And I think he can maybe relate to people because he's had that dialogue with sort of players at a younger age already. But you don't know. I think people come out from everywhere. Like to us, we've got such a young team.
Yeah,
I don't really think they might develop a little bit if they come on, with whether they take a fancy to it or not.
Fair enough. Okay.
I'll circle back on the most intelligent. I'm going to throw Conrad Peck's name in the hat.
Forgot Conrad.
Oh right. Okay.
I'm going to go with Conrad there.
You had a little think about it. Okay.
You haven't asked us though who's least intelligent.
Well, that sort of was the one who's sort of the person who gets the joke last. But who's the least intelligent then, Craig?
Well, there's two of them, and they're probably like best muckers.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I think. Probably Danny and Goldie. They, some of the conversations I'm hearing. I know I'm, half their age older.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And I'm the old man in the group, but I'm listening to them and I think, well, what are they coming out with there? And I say, dude, should we know what Danny just said? And we can't get our heads around it, but Goldie's there chuckling along with him, but they're good lads.
Good for them. Thank you. No, we're off the final on Saturday. As I say, we've got the tickets. Liverpool or Chelsea for you?
Liverpool.
Okay. John,
yeah.
Liverpool as well?
Yeah, I think Liverpool.
Yeah. Right. Okay. We shall see on Saturday. Listen.
How about yourself? Who are you backing?
You are saying?
Who are you backing?
I'm actually. Do you know what? I'm backing Liverpool. I want Chelsea to win. I think with Liverpool, you either love Liverpool or you hate them, don't you? And Liverpool knocked out Cardiff City earlier on thanks to VAR. I'm sure it's only because of VAR they knocked us out. But I think it'll be Liverpool, but I'd love it to be Chelsea. And the reason for that is I'm actually in the Chelsea end. So it'd be a bit awkward if it was the other way around. So but listen, thank you very much indeed. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I know I've kept you longer than normal, but all the best for next year. We will be back next year. We'll come down. We'll see you. We've loved every time we've been down to Shepton. Thank you so much for giving us your time. I'll let you go. And I say all the best for next year. And we will catch up with you guys soon. So appreciate it. We'll get the video up tomorrow and we'll let you know when that's out. So thank you very much indeed. And we'll
Cheers, Jonny.
Cheers.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, cheers. All the best. Thank you very much indeed. Cheerio. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.